welcome back to my channel. If you are new, my name is Tasha. There's some construction going on in the building across the street from me, so if you guys hear that, I apologize. I've been trying to wait it out, but it's now like 2 to 3 p.m. and it's still going on, so hopefully you guys can't hear that. If you are new here, please subscribe. I do a lot of college lifestyle content, and if you're not following me on Instagram, you totally should. I post on my stories every day, and I post a lot of outfit content and just what I'm doing on a day-to-day, so that is just at Tasha. If you guys would follow me on there, that would be awesome. Okay, so I have been doing a lot of college content lately because I did just graduate college, so now I feel like I have all of the answers. But the topic that I wanted to talk about today is transferring, because I did transfer. I think most of you know that if you guys have been following me, but I did transfer my sophomore spring semester, and I couldn't find a ton of transfer information when I was transferring, so I hope that this will be helpful. Before I get into the topics and answers and questions and all that stuff I want to cover, I just want to tell you guys a little bit about my experience in case you are new to my channel. So USC was my dream school, but I didn't get in as a freshman, so I went to Loyola Marymount University, LMU, instead, and I liked LMU. It just wasn't everything that I wanted in a school, and I still knew that I wanted to go to USC. So I applied to transfer to USC for my sophomore year, and USC is a very competitive school, so I didn't get in for the fall semester. I got in kind of delayed for the spring semester of my sophomore year, and I was still just very grateful and excited to have gotten in at all. So I did accept that, and I went to community college for my fall semester, sophomore year, really close to USC. I still lived at USC. So that is my little transfer story. I don't regret it at all. I love USC so much. Still do, always have. LMU was still a really good school, but USC was just a better fit for me, and I am very happy that I ultimately transferred. Okay, so I kind of wanted to cover the things that I haven't really seen a lot of people talk about, or when I was in the process, this is the stuff that I wasn't super aware of, so I just kind of wanted to go over the things that I think are important to know when you are going to transfer colleges. So I think the most important thing that a lot of students don't know when they're going to transfer is looking at articulation agreements. So basically, depending on the schools that you're going to, all of the credits that you have from your first college may not transfer to your next college. So basically what an articulation agreement is it shows you the courses from the school you're at and whether or not they will transfer or what they will go for at your new school. I don't remember exactly how I found this, but I'm pretty sure I just googled like USC articulation agreements or something like that, and then I could put in LMU and it would come up. I don't know if this is a thing for every single school, but I'm pretty sure if you cannot find it online, definitely contact the school that you're transferring to, because this is imperative. That's a weird word. Maybe the classes that you have taken aren't going to transfer, but you will know that, and you will be able to schedule your next classes, making sure that they will transfer and you will get credit for those later on. For me, I was very, very fortunate, and my parents were paying for my college, but they told me they would pay for 4 years, and that's it. So if I didn't get all of the credits that I needed within 4 years to graduate, I would be paying for everything after that. So it was very important to me to make sure that my credits transferred and that I was taking courses at LMU that I knew would transfer to USC if needed. Now, because USC's communication school is pretty rigorous, not saying LMU's wasn't, but USC's is definitely more prestigious. They didn't take the comm classes that I took at LMU, but I still did get elective credits for them. So if you do have like a specific major at your first school, say you're a bio major, and you take the bio classes at that school, they might not transfer over for your bio classes at the next school, but you probably will still be able to get credit. So just keep that in mind, and like I said, if you know you're planning on transferring, definitely look at those articulation agreements and sign up for the classes that you will be able to get credit for at your next school. But also make sure there are classes that you need at your current school, because if transferring ultimately does not happen or doesn't work out for you, you want to make sure that you are still taking courses that you need for that school. Okay, the next thing is something people probably won't want to hear, but at least in my opinion, transferring is 90% about your college grades. At least when I transferred, I had to send in my college grades as well as a personal statement, and I think I had to send in like my ACT scores and potentially my high school grades, but I am almost certain that the most important part of what these admissions counselors are looking for in transfers is their grades that they got in college. I had an average of a 3.7, it might have been 3.75 GPA at LMU combined from my first and second semester, and that was pretty much like the target for USC's transfer stats. Definitely look at the school you're transferring to and what the stats are of their accepted transfer students, because you definitely want to be inside that range, because I'm telling you straight up, the grades are what they're looking at primarily. If you did have amazing high school grades or you have amazing extracurriculars, yes, that will help you, but they are primarily looking at the grades. So definitely, if you think you're gonna transfer, try really hard to get a good GPA, because I'm telling you, that's probably the most important thing. My personal statement, my essay for transferring really was not anything special. I'm a good writer, so it was grammatically correct and well written, but it wasn't anything special. I just wrote about how I really wanted to go to USC. The next thing I want to talk about is utilizing the Facebook pages made for transfers at the next school. Transferring is hard. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit, but it's not easy, and I think one of the easiest ways is meeting other people that are also transferring, so you guys are kind of on the same page. And a really great way to do that if you don't know anyone is to look up Facebook groups and Facebook pages for transfers. I think most schools will have one with like the year or the semester transfer students for each school, and people are always posting in there, either asking questions, looking for roommates, but it's definitely a really good place to find people that are in the same boat as you, and it's a really good place to try and reach out to other people and make new friends, maybe ask people to grab coffee or something. I definitely recommend using those pages. Okay, going off of that is, I'm going to be honest, it's definitely not as easy to meet people as a transfer student as it is just coming in as an incoming freshman. At LMU, it was very easy for me to meet people. I made friends pretty quickly and everyone was very talkative and it was super easy. But transferring, especially transferring in the spring semester, so the middle of the year, was very hard. And if you're not actively putting yourself out there and actively trying to meet people, it's going to be even more difficult. So for me, I ended up joining a sorority, and that really helped me obviously meet a lot of people, and that totally worked out for me. But I know that's not in the cards for everyone else, whether it's just not your thing, or it's too expensive, or your school doesn't have sororities and fraternities. But definitely try and join some sort of club. I know every school has clubs, so I'm sure you can find one that you're interested in, and that's a really good way to meet people that have similar interests to you. I hear a lot of stories of people that have transferred and are miserable because they haven't met anyone and they feel really out of place, and a lot of the times I think it's because they're really not actively trying, you know? You can't sit in your room or sit in your dorm and not talk to people and expect to make friends just by going to class, because a lot of the times people already have friends in their classes and they're not really looking necessarily or like actively looking for new friends. I'm sure they'd be welcome to make new friends, but you know, they're not going out of their way. So just going to class and coming home and not doing anything else isn't going to make you friends. You need to actually seek them out and make initiative. Okay, the next thing I wanted to cover is definitely reach out to people at the school that you know going there to ask about housing or just general questions that you might not know about. I know it's totally possible that you might not know anyone at the school you're transferring to, because I didn't really know anyone, but I regret not trying to find out more about housing options from people that were already at the school, because there were like 3 massive apartment complexes that are widely known about. They're all pretty expensive, but they're new, big, nice. They all have their different perks. One of them is really close to campus, one of them is really close to Greek Row, and then one of them is farther out but has amazing amenities like a rooftop pool, multiple pools, a gym, and all of that stuff. I ended up choosing the last option that had all the amenities, and I really did like that place, but it was very far out and not a lot of people that I ended up being friends with lived there. That's another thing. The place I ended up living wasn't a very social apartment complex. I ended up being good friends with my roommates who were actually grad students, so that worked out nicely for me. But yeah, definitely look into that because where you're living is definitely going to impact your experience. And okay, and a question that I sometimes get asked is, will you look down upon for being a transfer student? My answer is no. I don't know how this will be at different schools, but at USC it's pretty common to be a transfer, especially because USC is getting harder and harder and harder to get into. Lots of people are transferring in. At the end of the day, you're gonna get your degree just like everyone else is who started there as a freshman, so it's really not that big of a deal. Once again, I'm not sure how it is at other schools, but whatever. No one's even gonna know you're a transfer until you tell them, but who really cares? So those were my tidbits about transferring. I'm pretty sure I do have a whole video about transferring to USC, so I will link that down below if I can find it in my archive of videos. If you guys have any other college topics you want me to cover, please leave them down below in the comment section because I love making these videos and I love being able to help you guys out. Like I said, please subscribe if you haven't already and stay tuned for my next video. Bye!